Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today we're looking at stories where family helps family, even in the bedroom. Am I the a-hole for not letting my girlfriend's sister watch us doing it? Posted by United No One 2532. So, my girlfriend has a twin, and they're practically inseparable. They have the same friend group and take the same classes, yada yada. It's important to note that my girlfriend's sister is asexual. Basically, she doesn't like sex, doesn't want to have it, and is repulsed by it. She recently started dating this guy who's okay with that, which is great for her. But recently, she's been asking a lot of questions about our intimate life. At first, my girlfriend and I didn't mind, as she was obviously just curious, so we'd tell her stuff. Not digging deep, but just the basics. It got to the point where she'd ask to listen from the other room while she made out with her boyfriend. In a way, I was kind of taken aback. Like, you want to listen to your sister effing while getting freaky with your man? Weird. I refused and always asked my girlfriend to wait until her sister couldn't hear us. Well, last week her sister called me and asked if she could stay over the night that my girlfriend was going to stay over at mine. I thought it was because their parents were going through a rough patch and she needed a place to stay, so with no questions asked, I said yes. I fixed her up a blow-up bed in the living room with some blankets and pillows, and we all said goodnight and headed off. It wasn't until later, when my girlfriend and I were getting into it, that we heard a knock on the door. It was her sister. She asked if she could watch to learn more about the real thing. I suggested she go online, where there's hundreds of videos about it, but she said no, that she wanted to learn more in real life. I felt really uncomfortable about the whole thing, but my girlfriend agreed, under the condition that her clothes stayed on, as they're blood related. I declined and told her sister to go back into the living room. The vibe was gone, so we just went to sleep, but things were awkward in the morning. It caused a bit of an argument when my girlfriend said her sister is just trying to experiment, but I argued back that I didn't need to watch people doing it to know that I wanted it. I don't see why she can't just do it with her boyfriend to know. So, am I the a-hole? Why is the girlfriend okay with this? Not just okay either, but actually upset with OP for saying no. He's not the a-hole, he's just creeped out. Why aren't you? Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my brother's family move in after he evicted me years ago? Posted by PeachyGirl18. Several years ago, I, 28 female, was living with my older brother Tom, 37 male, and his wife Karen, 34 female. I had just graduated from college and had a pretty bad job at the time and was struggling to make ends meet. Tom had a house with a guest room, and he told me I could stay with him for a while until I got back on my feet. I was beyond grateful and made sure to help out however I could, cooking, cleaning, and buying groceries whenever I could afford it. Fast forward about 6 months, I finally landed a decent job and was able to contribute more financially. I was finally on my way to becoming independent. Around this time, Karen got pregnant. At first, everything seemed fine, but then Karen started dropping subtle hints that they need more space for the baby. The hints soon turned into direct conversations about how they needed the guest room for a nursery. Tom assured me that I could stay until I found a new place, but Karen was clearly becoming more agitated by the day. Then, one afternoon, I came home from work to find all my stuff packed up and sitting in the hallway. Tom told me that Karen had decided that they need me out ASAP. No discussion, no warning. He tried softening the blow by saying they'd help me out with security deposit on a new place, but it was humiliating and hurtful. I ended up couch surfing for a couple of months until I could afford a small studio apartment. It was a really tough time for me, both emotionally and financially. I'll never forget the feeling of being thrown out of my own brother's house like that. Fast forward to now. Tom's life has taken a bit of a turn. His business went under and they're having financial issues. Last week, he called me out of the blue, sounding desperate. They're being evicted from their house and have nowhere to go. He asked if he, Karen, and their 2 children could come stay with me for a few months while they get back on their feet. Here's the thing, I'm doing much better now. I have a good job, a nice apartment, and have been saving for a house. I can technically accommodate them, but the thought of letting them move in after what they did to me years ago just doesn't sit right. I told Tom that I need to think about it, and ever since, he's been sending me guilt-trippy texts about how family's supposed to be there for each other and how they have nowhere else to go. Even my parents have gotten involved, saying I should let them stay with me because they're family, and what happened years ago is in the past. But here's the kicker. Karen hasn't apologized once for how they treated me. Not a word. She didn't even acknowledge it when we spoke on the phone. It's like they expect me to just forget about it and welcome them with open arms. I'm torn. Part of me feels like I should help because they are my family. But the other part of me feels like this is karmic justice. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to let them stay with me after what they did? Or should I just let the past go and help them out in their time of need? I was actually kind of on their side to begin with, like maybe you were staying way longer than expected, and then they had a baby on the way and need that room. But then they kicked you out with zero notice? Yeah, nah, they're definitely the a-holes here. They should have at least given you 30 days notice. It's what you've got to do for strangers and your family. Next time your parents say anything, just agree with them and ask if they want a hand helping your brother and his family move in with them. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my daughter to invite her stepdad to walk her down the aisle, especially since I'm the one paying for everything? Post by Powerful Activity 333. So, my daughter is getting married next spring. I've been looking forward to this for years, and she and I have always been close. Her mum and I split when she was 12, and she mostly lived with me after that. I've been in her life full time, so I always figured I'd get to have that classic father-daughter moment at her wedding. Her mum remarried about 5 years ago, and let's just say, I'm not a fan of her new husband. He's the type of guy who always needs to be the center of attention, loud and over the top, and just exhausting. He's pulled stunts, even at family gatherings for my side, always making everything about him. I've put up with it to keep things civil, but it's always been a challenge for me. I still invite him though, for my daughter's sake. Fast forward to now, my daughter is wedding planning and told me that she'd like her stepdad to walk her halfway down the aisle with me. I couldn't believe it. I told her that, as her actual father, it's a bit hurtful to have to share this big moment with someone who's only been in her life for a few years. I've been there with her through everything, every school event, every late night, every hard time. Her stepdad has just recently come into the picture, and it stings that she'd want to include him in a moment I always assumed was ours. To make things even harder to swallow, I'm covering all of the wedding expenses. I've spent a significant amount of money so that she could have her dream wedding. I don't want to be petty, but part of me feels like it's only fair to expect that I'd get the honour of walking her down the aisle, just me and her. She got defensive, saying she wants to include him because he's been supportive. But I explained that to me, this is about a father-daughter tradition and how much I value our relationship. Now she's upset, and my ex-wife has also joined in, saying I'm being selfish and making it all about me. I've now become a full-blown topic of discussion, with everyone throwing pretty harsh words my way. In frustration, I finally told her that if she really wants him to be there, she should ask him if he'd also like to split the bill. That might have been a bit much, but I was feeling cornered. So, am I the a-hole for not wanting to share the aisle with her stepdad, especially since I'm paying for the whole thing? I just want to add that my ex-wife and her husband asked her for this. This wasn't something that she came up with. This reminds me of a story from a while back where the mum cheated on the dad, then married the affair partner after he broke the family apart. When the daughter got married, she insisted that her dad and stepdad walk her down the aisle together. She wanted him to walk her down the aisle with the man who his wife cheated on him with and who destroyed his family. That was the hill she wanted to die on. And after the dad paid for everything too. She ended up not budging and walking down the aisle with just her stepdad, blowing up her relationship with her real dad. Then couldn't understand why he went full no contact with her. She was never able to repair that relationship. It was such a sad story. But yeah, just because he's your dad and been there for you through everything doesn't mean you can just take him for granted, stab him in the heart and twist the knife, and still expect everything to be okay. Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my younger brother's college because my dad never saved up for him? Post by Darby Barbie. I, 26 female, graduated from college a couple of years ago. I worked my butt off to get through school, juggling scholarships, loans, and part-time jobs to pay for everything on my own. My dad remarried when I was 18, and I have a half-brother, 17 male, who's about to graduate from high school. Recently my dad asked if I could help out with my brother's college expenses because he and his wife didn't save up for it. He said I should be able to afford it now that I have a full-time job, and because I got lucky with scholarships, and it would only be fair if I helped my brother since family helps family. I love my brother, but I told my dad I can't be responsible for his education, especially when I had to figure out everything on my own. My dad didn't give me any financial support during college, so I don't see why it's suddenly my responsibility now. He got mad and called me selfish, and now my stepmom and brother are giving me the cold shoulder. I feel guilty because my brother has nothing to do with this, but at the same time, I just started my career and I'm trying to build a life of my own. So am I the a-hole for saying no to helping pay for my brother's education? You know what? I bet it's his new wife who has the family helps family values, and he's been pretending to have the same values. I bet he told her that he paid for OP's college, and that's why he hasn't got the funds for their son. At least, that explains why the wife and brother are so mad at OP, and think it's only fair that she helped pay for his college. I know this is all speculation, but I bet that's what's going on here. I hope OP mentions in front of the wife or brother the fact that she got no help, despite the family helps family expectations. Like, maybe give her brother some advice on how she managed to get by all on her own. You know, just a subtle little hint. If you like this video, please let me know, and subscribe for more juicy tea.